Hey everybody, good afternoon. I am Erin Strayer, and today we are going to be talking about all things having to do with body shaming, feeling less than, being not worthy, all of these things that coordinate with our bodies and our outcomes, right? So either our personal relationships or our outcomes in our business and how that connects. Being a woman in the world, in this entrepreneur network that we are all associated with. We're going to be talking in depth with the amazing Shannon Miller in just a little bit. We're glad you're here, honey. We're going to get into you really, really strong here. Super second. This is Perspective Shifters. This is where we elevate you as female entrepreneurs. We come on here and we talk about hot topics and things that are pain points for all of us. Today is like really a big pain point for me. So I'm super excited that we're talking with Shannon about this. And I just want to say just 2 seconds about me. What I do and what I am is I'm an accelerated business strategist and growth consultant for female entrepreneurs. And I help you get clear and focused business alignment and optimizing and leveraging you going forward out in the world. So with that being said, if you're here with us, make sure you say hi. Hi, Eric. Thanks for joining us. We're glad that you're here. And if this is something, when we get starting talking about this information, I mean, right off the top, you already know all your people need to know this, right? So share this video. Make sure that you share this with your teams, with your C-suites, with your other management, because all of us deal with this situation. So, hi, Shannon Miller.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, morning for you. Yeah.
I'm here. What's happening?
Right? I know. Gosh, I really appreciate you. We had some issues that we had to deal with, and Shannon was gracious enough to jump in on our platform with me today, and I'm super grateful for your flexibility and you being with us and having your amazing stuff just ready to go, and I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled.
Excited.
Yeah, so how are you?
I'm great. I'm feeling a little like, I feel like I need to do like Tony Robbins jump and like change my skin, like let's get really excited. Yeah, no, but I'm ready to talk. Like this subject is such a passion of mine, and being able to share it and be vulnerable and really impact people is amazing. And I'm so excited that I can do it with you because you are just one of those shining lights of this world, and you just like have my heart. You're amazing.
Oh, I am so thrilled. Shannon and my journey started, I feel like we've known each other forever. Like, I feel like we were born together. I have such a strong connection with Shannon, and her husband have become very, very close and dear to my heart. And though we've only known each other for a very short period of time, both she and her husband have quickly come up in my world and have become family for me. And so I'm thrilled. thrilled. I can't even describe how thrilled I am. But again, if you guys are here, make sure you interact with us. We're on this really cool platform where we can highlight you and give you shout outs while you're here. Kind of like this. We'll show Eric's here.
Yeah, my husband. Hi, babe.
Yeah, he's here. There he is.
He's so cute. Look at that face.
Yeah, so let us know that you're here. And as we roll through this, Shannon is she's a certified personal trainer, first of all. But she's health and lifestyle coach and entrepreneur, and has integrated this new lifestyle of health and nutrition into her well-being after, can I give them a little background, Shannon? Can I go there with them? Yeah. So Shannon has shared that she's struggled with some eating disorders and some massive amounts of body shaming, right? Like every single person on this planet has that, but different degrees of that, and how that affects all of us rolling forward in the world and comes out or doesn't, right? As we go forward. And she is just so passionate about empowering women to love their bodies. And I think that it is just brilliant what we're going to be talking about today. So that's all about me too, the empowering and the lifting up. And I'm so glad that you're going to be talking about our bodies specifically and going forward, how that affects us in business and in our relationships. And yeah. So I'm fine if you want to give some backstory, like fill in a few of the little gaps there.
So we'll start a little bit of right now. So like you're saying, I am personal trainer, but I really don't practice in that. It's really evolved and really focused on nutrition and lifestyle, because that is the key. It's really, as much as I love the gym, don't get me wrong, that's my jam. I love it. It's really about developing the person and the human being, because that's where it all starts. And so history with me, when we talk about eating disorders, I want to say, I was talking to my husband about it last night. I want to say that I was probably 13 when it started. I was a competitive cheerleader in school. And, of course, the pressures of staying in shape and being that, at that point, that stick skinny look was in, right? The supermodels all look that way. And it was it was impossible to do that in a healthy way, because that's just not healthy. And at 13, what else do you do other than kind of follow the drift and follow everybody else and what they're doing? And, it eventually led me into anorexia, bulimia, and really kind of engulfed my life. It was almost a defining characteristic of mine. And through my childhood, I continued with that, and it was like this on and off thing that I dealt with. And especially when stressful situations would come up, that's where it would trigger me, and I would literally get lost in that cycle. And I very early on, I was engaged. Are you ready for this, Erin? At 17. At 17, I was engaged. I worked full time when I was 15, almost 16 and on. I worked full time in a job. I was engaged at 17, married by 19, and first baby at 21. So wow. It was, I went straight into adulthood very, very early on. And I worked in the corporate world. And working in the corporate world as a young woman who doesn't have a college degree, let me tell you, it was the most negative, soul-sucking thing I've ever done.
Right?
Yeah. And it just it set me right back into my place of control, my place of comfort, right? In food, and controlling my food, and losing sight of what my body truly looked like, and owning it and loving it and nourishing it. And so I, went through that cycle. I was married at 21, like I said, I have 2 beautiful children. And through that process, I have my children, and then go right back into body hating and body shaming myself, and being 20 pounds lighter than I am right now. 20. I was under 100 pounds, very thin and sick. And I didn't know who I was. Completely lost my vision. And then I met my beautiful husband, Eric, who's on here.
He's lovely.
I just don't think there's a better man in this world. He's beautiful. But he gave me time. He gave me the gift of time to really focus in on me. And when I did that, I found an empowerment going into the gym and really feeling my body and seeing the power behind the physical side of me, and really nourishing it and feeling and seeing what changes that made. And it just rocketed me into my passion and excitement when it comes to fitness and wellness, and really building people's lifestyle and that personal development side.
Stephanie's saying she loves this, and she loves you, Shannon.
Love Stephanie. And we talk about eating disorders, and we talk about eating disorders isn't just anorexia and bulimia. It's anorexia, bulimia, it's restriction. It's, when there's an unhealthy relationship with food, there's a disorder there. Overeating, binge eating. The top eating disorder in this country is binge eating, and that really, when we look at that, it relates to how we show up in life. And either we are going and we're masking and we're covering up our feelings, right? And our insecurities with food, or we're restricting and holding on to control. So it really is a parallel, and really defines and shows you, how you're showing up in life when you have an eating disorder, and the way that you look at your body and the way that you treat it.
Yeah, Shirley's on here and said she's never really heard you talk and open up like this. She's really proud of you and your progress. That's awesome. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to come to a place. I'm just going to respond to Shirley for a second. It's super tough to come to a place when you recognize that that's an issue. It's one thing to recognize it, but then to actually be able to publicly talk about it, right? There's a bunch of strangers on here.
Yeah.
This is like stranger land, stranger danger.
Yeah. I should
right?
go to survival mode. I need to hide. I might die.
Right? Yeah. So do you find that actually, did that happen? Did you go into like hiding and becoming invisible and kind of slinking back into the corner a little bit? Yeah. I don't want to relate to people.
Yeah, I think, and Eric's kind of touching on it. When I first met Eric, I was again 20 pounds lighter. If we walked into a room of strangers, I would definitely stand in the back. There was no outward, trying to get to know people or putting myself in a vulnerable situation. I was so uncomfortable with who I was. I mean, I had no self-confidence, and I really honestly didn't know my power. And so, the way how small I physically was how I was showing up in life. I was showing up as small. I was showing up as weak. I was showing up as someone who truly didn't have a spark or a passion for myself or for other people. A lot of people that are on here now know me now, but they don't realize the journey that I've been on. 3 years ago, I never would have said publicly, hey, I've struggled my whole life with anorexia and bulimia. That's crazy.
Sure. So one, the progress that you have personally made, and there are absolutely steps that you have taken, and I'm sure Eric was a huge contributor to the flip, right? But I'm sure that there were, specific things that you can pull out of your head that were absolutely a flip for you to, I'm going to change that.
Yeah. Well, and I think, and this is what I tell everybody that I work with, is it's small steps equal big, massive changes. And it was just small steps. It was number one, being vulnerable enough to even share with myself that I had a problem, and saying, you know what, Shan, I know within myself, okay, this is not healthy. I recognize that I need help and I can't do this on my own. But number one, it was finding a safe space for myself and recognizing that. And also having a community or a partner that it was a safe space, because we can listen. My husband, for me, was that safe space, but that's not truth for everybody. Sure. I have people that I'm their safe space in their entire lives. They've never said, I have an eating disorder, but they've told me because I'm their safe space. I understand, and they can be vulnerable in that. And so I think finding that partner. Yeah. Finding a partner, that safe space for you to say, I have this. This is what weighs on me. This is this heaviness. I need you to help me with this load. I need you to be there for me as that sounding board, that person I can tell everything to, and I know that it's going to stay safe.
Yeah, and that's, I don't think that can be stressed enough, to have that safe space, whether it's a person or a place that you can go for that backup, that, hey, I got your back no matter what, and that holding you accountable for what you say you're going to do, right? How easy is it to go, I'll start tomorrow?
Oh, years.
Right?
I'll never do that again, except for this one time.
Except for this one time.
And we do that with everything, and even as much as, we evolve and we're very aware of ourselves and we know what our truths are, our visions are, it doesn't mean that we don't fall down and have that breakdown, right? But it's acknowledging it, recognizing it within yourself, and then, okay, what is my action? What am I going to do? Actually, take the action, not talk about the action.
Yeah, that's huge too, right?
Yeah,
take the action for sure. Because your words really are empty unless you follow them up. Right.
And I think I said something like that last night on Facebook. I put a post about it. Yeah, because it's truth. How many times do we want something, but you don't want with the action? So you're just wanting. Oh, I want. But you have to take the action. I wanted to feel amazing in my body, but in order for me to do that, I had to take the action. And it wasn't comfortable. It was not easy. And it did not happen overnight. None of those things were truth. I truly poured myself into it, and I was willing to fail forward if that was necessary. And I continue to do that and help others do the same.
Yeah, I love that, failing forward. I love that. I have another person in my world that says that all the time, and I love that saying. You know, and fail to me is your first attempt in learning,
right?
Regardless. So you learn and you go forward. As long as you're going forward, even if it's not working at 100% when you're going forward, you tweak it,
right?
And you continue to go forward. Yeah.
Right. It's just recalculating your GPS. You're still going to the same destination.
Right.
Right.
That's huge. I love that too. You know, just recalculate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what if you're on a detour? Just keep following the signs.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's beautiful. So you got into health and fitness.
Yeah.
As a lifestyle to help you get better, to heal you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you discovered that you really, really loved it.
Yeah. It became very clear to me, number one, the physical side, when you are able to accomplish something physically, it teaches you so much more than reading a book or, you know, like even with business, it's never taught me the same lessons as that physical, tangible thing. You know, being able to literally watch myself get physically stronger, literally watch myself do things that I know there are big grown men that couldn't do the things that I do. And I was like, now that is power, you know, and it's silly. And people think, oh, that's silly. Well, no, it's not, because it's just a way of physically recognizing the power that you have within you. You know, and I am probably the last person, and it's taken me a long time. And Erin, we've talked about this, obviously, of recognizing who I am and how I show up in this world and what impact I have on others. And far too often we hold back and we self-sabotage and we keep ourselves small, or, you know, like I look at the overeating or binge eating disorders and really covering up and masking who we are because we're afraid to truly come out and be our authentic selves and be as powerful as we possibly can be. What does that look like? Sometimes that's a little scary, but it is phenomenal, the things that we've been able to accomplish and the people that we've met and the lives that we've changed because we've been willing to get outside of our comfort zone.
Yeah, and that's like massive vulnerability.
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
Massive vulnerability.
Yeah.
You know, and that struggle is real for so many people, which is why so many people don't play to their potential.
Yeah.
Also, right? Like, I mean, look at you. If you would have just not even, I'll start tomorrow.
Yep.
And then tomorrow comes, yep, I'll start tomorrow. And you just continued, you know, we shared how sick you were and how far you've come.
Yeah.
By making that switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And what have I want to go there because I want you to talk about it, about what you have created and this for you, because I know how beautiful it is, what you have created and this culture, right, that you have started to create because of your journey and the power behind it.
Yeah. So it's almost sometimes I think almost like I can't even describe the feeling that it gives me. I was always the person that said, people don't get me. I'm nobody's best friend. I'm like, you know, the friend, but I'm nobody's best friend. Nobody looks to me. Nobody's ever going to listen to me. I'm too small. I don't have a college degree. I'm just not that person that people get, right? That's the story that I told myself about relationships. And as I grew and who I was, you know, the love that I have for human beings in general, just human beings, is so huge. It burns a fire inside of me. And there came a point where my husband and I used to say, why don't we have any friends? Why don't we have, I feel like we don't have family. You know, we called it Miller Island. It was beautiful, but it was freaking lonely. You know, we needed a community. And so as we grew in this business and really developing our, relationships and really helping other people, these people aren't clients of ours. These aren't, a couple of years ago, it was a medical weight loss practice. And we owned a medical weight loss practice. So they were patients. I mean, how cold is that? Those aren't friends of ours.
Right.
But as it's evolved, it's literally turned into a family. We are truly a family and a community and a place of being able to share in our experiences and impact not just our community, but the trickle effect out into the rest of the world. And it's been a place where, like we talk about with us, finding that partner, finding that community, finding that place where you can be vulnerable and you guys can lift each other up, because you're probably not going to find it outside. When I walk through the grocery store, I'm probably the only one smiling, and they look at me like I'm the crazy one.
Right. When's she going to go check in?
Right. She's crazy. She's saying hello to me, and I hope you have a good day. Like, there's something wrong with that woman, So I'm the crazy one. And so being able to really immerse yourself in a community, that our community is just phenomenal. I mean, and listen, and I think what you put out is what you get back. And because of who we are and the people that are within our community and who they are becoming and growing into, we attract people like you, because you're freaking phenomenal.
Thank you. It's a magnetism though, right?
Absolutely.
So I agree 100% with what you just said. What you put out is exactly what comes back. So if it's positive, man, all that positivity comes in, right?
Yeah.
And it's like overflowing and your heart's exploding with love and gratitude and, oh my gosh, yes, right?
Yeah.
And just exactly the opposite happens if you're, I'm not going to do that today. I really don't want to do that today. No, man, she sucks and I can't stand her.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what comes back is that, right? So you gotta get in a different canoe, people.
And I think it's truth in business. We look at who we partner with or who we hire. What does our staff look like? There are companies, amazing, massive companies, that the culture is nothing like what you find in corporate, right?
Right.
It's because it's chosen. It's the energy that they put out. They're bringing in amazing people. I've worked in the corporate, really super negative. Everybody's out to get one another. You're never right no matter what you do. I've worked in that environment, but because that's the culture, they just bring more of that in. And in our business, we choose who we work with, because I am not going to allow that into my culture. That doesn't fuel me, serve me, right? Yeah. So I think even as business, as entrepreneurs, we have a choice, and being very selective in who you allow in your community is really going to define where your business goes and what that culture is going to look like. Right.
And that, I think, goes back to who you empower.
Yeah.
Right? And who choosing the correct team players and being able to say no to the ones that don't fit your demographic, right? And then to be able to nurture those attitudes inside of your corporation. I think that that is such a strong pillar that holds you so strong. I mean, like, you talk about pillars that are holding your roof over your head, right? That's huge. That's huge when you're able to do that. And kind of step away from those corporate competitive attitudes, right? That are not conducive in any way, shape, or form.
And we talk about that empowerment versus competition, and especially in women. And I, it's funny. I recently had, it was a brief conversation with this woman that I met, and she said, I just get so tired. Everybody's in competition and people are so negative. And I'm like, and in my head, I went, wait a minute. And I said, well, for me, I feel like there's a massive switch going on. For me, I see the women that want to empower each other, the women that want to band together and help each other. And if you're not seeing that, if you're feeling the competition, you're feeling the negativity, then you're in the There you go. Hi. I'm still going. So now
we'll freeze here. People hang with us as Shannon kind of reconnects here for us. But yeah, we're sitting here talking about the difference between empowerment and the competitive attitude in communities, and what that looks like. And let me just connect here. Is she still there? I think she's going to hop back in here. I think. But we've been talking with Shannon Miller, who is an amazing health and life coach and entrepreneur, and has an amazing company that she runs with her husband, and they really make sure, specifically women, that they empower and they live in their empowerment, and that everything that they do. Oh, are you back? Oh, yay! Hi! Thanks for hopping off and hopping back on.
I'm like, I don't know what's going on. How do I work this thing?
Yeah. Thanks for working with that little glitchy there.
There we go.
Yeah. So thanks for hanging with us, people. We're still rolling here, and yeah, thanks for a little technical glitch there. But we were talking about the corporate versus the competitive corporate attitude versus how you view empowering people on your team and in your corporation, and what that looks like. And I just feel that that's a huge, massively awesome, different mindset.
Yeah.
Going forward, right?
And I think it's really a movement. I think people are tired. I think they're exhausted with the competition, and they're realizing that there really is no competition. Even if you're in the same market, sharing your things that have worked for you, sharing your community, sharing the people that hey, I know so-and-so, they'd be great for marketing with you. They'd be great for this with you. I know a great coach. Sharing that, there's an abundance in this world. There is no lack. But what you really see when you get out of the competition mode and you get into the empowerment of each other is you both rise. There's this old attitude of, I can't let them rise because they're going to take over my job or my position or whatever that is. And it's truth. It's such a story that we tell ourselves. And we've watched this in our business is as we've empowered other people, rather than hand holding, rather than, keeping them here, just let them fly and giving them the resource. It's phenomenal what it does for us as humans and what it does for us in our business. So there's a lot to be said about empowerment versus competition and how we show up in that regard.
Yeah, another mentor of mine calls it completing. So you actually add the L, which is love, into that word. Yeah. So compete versus complete as women, and you add the love with the L. Yeah. And I feel that when you said it and you touched on it, the abundance is there, right? And the empowerment and the success and the money and all of that surround around that word. So when you give it, it just exponentially comes back, right?
Yeah, it's the reward.
Yeah.
It's the reward.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're taking new clients or what, but how do people find you?
Oh my gosh, Facebook. I'm such a Facebooker. I really am. But we primarily work off of Facebook because honestly, it's an amazing platform to be able to share what we do and provide value, but really connect as a community because we work with people all over the world. And so Facebook is just really an amazing place. I dabble a little bit in Instagram, but I'm going to commit to really putting some more time and effort into Instagram. But for right now, Facebook is really the best place. And I'll link up to this. So, friend request, follow, you can message us. And then we could put my email as well. And they can email me. But really, Facebook, I love connecting. I want a relationship with people. That's what we do because we're really here to serve.
Well, and quite honestly, that's why you and I connected, was because there was a relationship, right? And we chose to nurture that, and we chose to interact and like ask questions and be human beings without an agenda, And I mean, look what happened.
I know.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful when you actually cultivate relationships instead of you have the agenda. I'm going to get X number of clients. I'm going to go get these new contacts. I'm going to go put new people on my, on my email list. I'm going to check, right? The agenda.
We don't have numbers in our business. We have people, human beings. That's what we have. So,
and I love that. I love that. And it's felt. It is so felt. And it's so real. And you guys can't even imagine if you ever even get to hug these two people, Shannon and her husband. Like it is heartfelt. It is a full-on hug. There is no wimpy little hug about it. It is like truly a, oh my gosh, I want to hug you and I'm going to hug you. And it's that relationship and that trueness and that authenticity and that being vulnerable enough to open space for new people is really, really beautiful. And I commend you highly on your journey to now and being able to speak about that and the amazing numbers of lives that you touch and change. And, just by being you with your story and then going a step beyond that and teaching about how to become healthy in a healthy way. I very, very much commend you on your now and where you are now and what's gotten you here. So
thank you so much. We love you so
much. I love you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so if you guys feel that this information that Shannon has shared is valuable, which, oh my gosh, it's beyond valuable, please share it out to your people, out to your tribes, out to your network of people that you train with. If it's something that you want to integrate into your environment, and even corporate people, man, clue into this and maybe to make a shift, right? And change how your corporation is functioning. And it starts with you. It starts with you and how you show up and how you view yourself and how you talk and present yourself. And if you guys want to reach out to Shannon, she's going to drop her links on how to find her and how to connect with her. Once we're done here, she'll drop those in the links. And Shannon, I just really want to thank you so much for being amazingly flexible and coming in for us today and spending time and being the amazing human that you are and who you are in my world.
Really such an honor. I love seeing your face. Thank you so much. Love you.
I love you too. Hey guys, we'll see you right back here soon on the Perspective Shifters. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you soon.